Check it.
Now, what in the helly? Good. You gotta stop it. What a hoot. Wow. Well, we didn't made it this far, Bookie. Yeah, but at this point, you know my mom. We have a matching skincare routine. It's a whole different season at this point. What is going on? What are we on? Like, what are you on? I'm on my bed. What are you on? Huh. I like you. You're consistent. It's tea. Oh, real good stretch. Man, it has been, wow, what is it, 7 days or whatever they say? Man, I feel like it's been a lifetime, but then, like, not a lifetime. I feel like multiple things have changed. My hair looks like a tennis ball that was at the bottom of one of those little ponds, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. What you guys been up to? You have to say it in the microphone, otherwise they don't know what you're saying. Oh, T. I like that. Wow. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the fucking sixth installment, or girl, let me quit. Seventh installment? Damn, I almost didn't know my numbers. Good thing I already out of school now, girl. But yeah, no, what the fuck? Episode 7? That's crazy. Well, this is gonna be a real fun episode. I have two friends with me today, a special guest. This is Kitty, the horse, and for the viewers who are just listening, I do have a horse head on a stick with one googly eye. Follow the Instagram and I will post Kitty there. But anyway, girl, child, honey boo. Oh yeah, wow, we have a really vital episode, as I like to think to myself. This is not necessarily something that's I won't say it's not that it can't be fun, but it's not fun in the way that in other episodes we've been able to really challenge our brain waves and get to thinking about different things in different ways. But no, this time I want to tackle something that's always been very important to me. It's how I kind of got to where I am today. And I feel like it's very, very vital to just carry conversations like this in the space that we hold, because this is a safe space always for not just myself, but for those who, are joining the community. So, without further ado, bitches, let's really get into the nicks and the crannies here. So you saw the title, Mental Health Check. If you've made it into the 7th episode, maybe this is your first time finding the episode for whatever reason. I do mental health checks at the end of every episode. It's a little segment that I do enjoy doing, where I kind of say thank you for something on my end, and then I give you a kind of 2 cents when it comes to vital things that have been important to me. And, I like to share those 2 cents. Not that I said I was ever a doctor of any kind, but, if something can work for me, it might work for you. I'm not saying that it is and it's absolute, but, we're here. We're queer. I'm queer? Ooh. We're not gonna edit that out. It's too late now, girl. So yeah, full transparency, always, always, always. I'm not a doctor. I don't have that degree to help you with the things that you think I can help you with. Girl, these are the things that I've been taught, things I've read, things I've learned on my mental health journey as I've come this far. So I feel it's very important to be able to share the things that I do share, because I've noticed in my, immediate circle, the things that I have been able to share have either worked or shed light on other areas to kind of get you there. You need building blocks. You can't just have all the information. So what works for me always won't work for, everyone. So I think it's very important to always acknowledge kind of those very important things when it comes to being able to note that something's even wrong in the first place or something that's right. But acknowledgement is a very big thing for me. And I don't know. I feel like for me, being able to acknowledge the big parts of my mental health that have gotten me into either really bad situations or really good situations, I feel like it's really hard. I feel like people are really stubborn, not just myself. I know I'm stubborn. I'm a Virgo. I'm about to listen to nobody. I'm already right. Like, come on now. I ain't never been wrong this far. So exactly. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like being able to really just not necessarily be self-aware, because being self-aware and being like, yeah, I heard you, I know, I see it, and actually acknowledging it, I feel like are very two different things, because I can see a problem exist, but I don't have to, take any accountability for it. I don't have to really do anything to change it. So I can just, always say, well, yeah, I have ADHD, or, a scatterbrained person and then use that excuse up until the ends of the earth, where then it's not really getting me anywhere. Being aware of something and acknowledging it and wanting to do something to change it, or at least mediate it, learn to not just deal with it, but let it not work with you, but not necessarily not work against you. So I feel like there's always those big things where a lot of people are so lazy these days. They don't like to be told about themselves. Everybody's stubborn. No one wants to hear, oh, you're doing this and it might be affecting other people. I feel like a lot of us in my generation, or at least in my age group, a lot of people get lost in the crosshairs of being unapologetically themselves. That is perfectly fine, and I really prefer you to be that. Anyways, but I feel like that saying should have like a little comma and like a little disclaimer at the end of it that says, unapologetically myself, but not at the expense of other people's feelings or emotions. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, me, the best boo boo I can be, always loud, proud, gay, black, and all, isn't everyone's cup of tea. And I'm fully aware of that. I don't have to shove me down everyone's throat, Uh, People being okay with me in the same space where it's not a disgusting thing or it bothers them, that's one thing. But I don't have to, force me onto their liking necessarily. Being able to sit in the same space where it feels comfortable is completely different, and so I feel like that's always a very big thing that I always have to acknowledge in my own personal life, because I'm a firm believer in practice what I preach. So I think it's always important to be able to, yes, be yourself unapologetically, but don't, not at the expense of anyone else's feelings. Like, I don't ever want to just be like, yeah, well, that's me, and that, take me, leave me, don't. No, because then I'll be by myself and I'll be singing that Fantasia song, talking about "So Gone" or whatever. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. That's not gonna happen here, Bookie. Also, side note, just a little quick story. For people who missed the live stream a few weeks ago, I had basically did 2 story times. If you guys are into the story times, let me know, because I do those on the Patreon. Ooh. But yeah, my mental health journey when it came to entering my own kind of space to kind of get myself to where I needed to be, I didn't necessarily have the push that I should have had, or at least I didn't have the push to give myself. It didn't start where I wanted it to start, because I've always been a firm believer. For a long time I was very stubborn to the idea of even therapy even working. So once I found myself crying in bathrooms, which, Bookie, that's not cute. Nobody wants to do that. That's not even me. I don't even cry like that for real. But like, those days were the hardest days because of every shitstorm that did come my way. And I kept living this life of, I'm just living the life of the cards that I was dealt. I'm a product of my, circumstance. Boo tomato. That sounds lame. That sounds whack. That's not a real thing. Like, the second I decided to not be those things and change those things and take my life into my own hands, girl, will you see these fur blankets? Don't play with me. Don't do all that. Right, right. So, like, I don't think it's necessary to shorten yourself or put yourself in this weird box of my life is always going to be crap and shit, because that's where I come from and that's all I know now. So I'm always going to settle on the little bit of great things, because all I know is the bare minimum. Yeah, no, that sounds so boring. I don't like it. I don't like it. I come from nothing. Like, I don't say nothing bottom zero, but like, I didn't have not much. Like, all of this, I worked my fucking ass off to get to where I am today. And so, like, to be able to have the things and like the actual enjoyments, not just like survival, girl, I'm living these days. I'm not trying to survive no nothing, because I've done that already. I was doing that for a very long time, and I don't think that's not a way to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to survive. And so I don't ever just take some of the stuff, that I say throughout the episode and or just throughout the show in general as I hope he's not just reading books and learning gaslight through a breakup and now he's trying to preach this stuff. Girl, bye. No, that is not at all the vibe. That's not what I give at all. I actually do come from a place of actually taking, the time to get to learn myself, the issues that I have, take accountability, rectify the issues that I may have had in my life, to myself, maybe to others, whether that was, necessary or not necessary. You have to give yourself the closure, not anyone else, when it comes to any circumstance or situation you've ever been in. And I'm a firm believer in that. A lot of people may not agree, but that is not what I'm here for, Bookie. So yeah, definitely wanted to kind of let it be known that I do have multiple years in therapy and in anger management, and so I like the, for some people who like the word of testimony, I don't mind sharing my testimony. I don't mind sharing, the things that have happened in my past to get me to where I am today, because this space has always been safe. I'm always going to be fully transparent always. And like, girl, I'm not about to lie to y'all because this is recorded. I'll be damned, girl. I'll be damned. Yeah, girl, I can't do all that. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to just mental health in general, like I remember the second I noticed a change. The second I really started to kind of just like, bro, it starts as your medulla. Like, like you have to be level headed in some way, shape, or form to deal with anything that comes your way. Because if you don't even have that little like ground zero to like be able to handle just a little bit of anything, everything will be one extra thing, no matter how big, small, insignificant, major that it is all the time. And so I always try to keep my cup at a nice neutral zero, so that when things do happen, I'm not creating these lists. I'm not creating these overwhelming like, my life is shit. And I use, adjectives like all the time and every time and just all like things like that, when like that's not necessarily the case. And then stuff like that kind of just like annoys me when it's, I don't want to say necessarily it's dramatic, but it's just like it doesn't have to be bigger than what it is if you were able to just deal with things as they come. And that is how you filter, what happens in your day-to-day life, like being a regular human. You know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like it's hard for a lot of people to just be able to process simple bad days. I'm not going to say bad days don't happen for most people, but for a lot of people that I do know in my close circle and people not in my close circle, it is very easy to fall into, yeah, today was really, really hard. It hurt. I'm broken. Where now you don't know what to do. Recovering afterwards is like, I have to have 3 beers and go to the bar and go smoke a bunch just to bring my day down. Where it's like, girl, that's not necessary. Like, it doesn't have to. That's a bit extreme in my opinion. I feel like there's other medians in the middle before it's like, I get a long day, sure, a mentally draining day even, yeah, absolutely, but like for it to be like the dread of your existence, whether you like the job or not, that's where things I feel like in my opinion should, differ from actually having bad days. You know what I'm saying? And so then even the times that you do have the bad days, I feel like it's so easy to fall into this, yeah, well, work sucked, and I have, and and already you add these commas and these ands, and it's bigger, it's a snowball, and now my life sucks all of a sudden. I don't like how easy it is to fall into that trap. And I feel like even for so long, for my personal self, I found myself, creating these extremely long lists of things that didn't even have anything to do with each other. They just happened to be bad things that happened regardless of the timeline. If it was in my medulla and it was in my memory and I could remember it in that short time frame, girl, trust me, I was gonna bring it up one way or another. And so like these days, being the, queen of 1,000 excuses and 1,000 reasons to complain about something, certified complainer. Actually, respect my gangster. Um, these days I feel like it's easier to complain on a venting level, and I say it jokingly more as actually complaining, because most days I have a solution. I have something to actually like contribute to, just like not complaining. I have something at the end of the day, I'm gonna complain for a second, like, damn, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm tired. And then I'll be up early, the first one there, first one to leave. You know what I'm saying? So like there has to be some type of even feel to both sides. It can't just be this weird like I'm gonna complain, but not do anything to change my circumstance. That's not doing anything from you. And so like at that point, it's I don't know. It feels lazy. It feels like a cop out, in my opinion. I feel like if you're not gonna take the time to be accountable for your own, you know, area, then as it is, it's kind of lame, girl. Kind of lame. I don't think I would ever do this as a job. Maybe like a peer person kind of situation, but I don't know. When it comes to mental health, my journey was hard. My journey was not fun. There was substance abuse, there was alcohol, there was lonely nights, there was tears, there was, yeah, use your imagination, but I there were multiple times when the light was supposed to go out, and for whatever reason that battery was real strong, and then the string I couldn't reach it, so I couldn't click quick enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to it's hard to say that my learning and my understanding of how to navigate the mental mind is absolute, because again, mine, I'm still learning. I'm still creating building blocks in my own head to be able to deal with certain things that come my way today that I feel like I'm not I won't call a spade a spade. I'm definitely not where I want to be, or not able to deal with certain things that come my way in the most healthiest of way. And that's accountability, bro. And I feel like that's not hard to have, and it's also not like this like obscene thing to have either. And so, I wouldn't say that when I say mental health is my passion, I wouldn't say it on the frame of I want to go teach things and preach things and in my immediate circle, can I give a little 2 cents to somebody who's hanging out their piggy bank? If your coin purse is out, girl, I might as well, real quick, I might as well throw them in there. You had it out. I saw it. The zipper was open. Like, whatever. But I'm not going to just unsolicited start throwing out random. Again, did you know about the. I'm not doing that, girlfriend, because, like, what works for you and what works for me might not even work for each other, vice versa. So I don't feel like that's a necessary thing for me. And where it comes to the passions or the things that I like enjoy doing as like a job, that's not whatever. Because other people's mental health and the way that they understand the brain, no, mm-mm. No, because that's gonna y'all already make my ass itch from the back as it is. So like that's not just something I can deal with. That I can't. Because what do you mean? I said you're gaslighting me, and you talking about you don't have a lighter. You fuck you in your fucking forehead, Bookie. You gonna make me, girl. Yeah. So as I digress and move on, I don't know. It's my passion, but I don't think I can do it. I just don't think I can do it. I want everyone else to know when it comes to a lot of the things that you don't necessarily have to learn from a therapist, a counselor, or whatever it may be. It's public knowledge and it's all shared public information. I feel like it's so lazy and so boring, for any human, no matter what the race, gender, ethnicity is, for any person to find it just impossible to just not get any central like understanding of how the brain works on their own, simply because of, well, I don't know what to search, or, well, I've never, anyone, no one else has brought this up to me before, or I'm new to this and I'm just now realizing this is the problem. Fix it. Change it. Go do it. I challenge you. You won't. Come on, go do it. Because I'm just saying, like, I feel like when it comes to concert tickets and being able to buy certain substances and making the end of other situations happen with a little bit of nothing, girl, if they wanted to, they would. And I'm a firm believer of that. So if you wanted to, you would also. You're just lazy. I'm not. Like, it doesn't have to be a competition. We can be in the same boat, but I'm better than you right now. So, like, I don't know, fix it. You know? And so, like, I just don't. I feel like it's so easy to obtain so much different types of information in these days. And I watch people learn. Girl, YouTube University be on something crazy these days. Let me tell you, their homies. Because, like, I feel like I find all my friends and people so close to me inside and out of those circles learning the most obscene things so quick just off the internet. TikToks teach you how to change all your filters in your apartment, in your houses and everything for now for free. So any man, woman, or anyone, able to actually comprehend what they're intaking when it comes to mental health and mental health awareness, if you gonna tell me, oh yeah, I realize I have all these issues, I realize all these problems are in the surface ground, I see them all, and then that's the whole that period, that's all you say, I'm gonna flick you in the between your in between both your eyes, like right here and your nose, Bridget, you know what I'm saying, or I'm gonna tap you on your forehead 42 million times as fast as I can. I'm telling you, you don't want that problem. Because it's lazy. I little side story, and I'm not proud of this moment, you know what I'm saying? But I was seeing this guy once, and we all cuddling, feet, toes together like a Twizzler, you know what I'm saying? You know the vibes. It's all cute. We got music playing. He got a little bonsai tree with a little sand thing. I'm playing in a little sand or whatever. It was cute. He just happened to asked me a question pertaining to my substance abuse, or not my substance abuse, my substance use when it came to like psychedelics and just things of that nature. And I more or less basically was like, why should I have to stop doing them? He was like, well, if you're serious about me and it's something that I'm concerned about or something that I'm not, that's not something I do in my realm, then I want that to be something of concern. And I was like, fair. I can respect that. I don't have to do it, but I can respect it. Already boo tomato, like again, this is past boo boo. I don't know her no more, okay? Um, Long story short, we kind of get into, back and forth. And then I more or less, mental health comes up and him saying, where he is in this journey and growing. He's very particular about the people he wants to bring into his life and of those things of his nature. More or less, Boo Boo gets on his fucking mighty ass the high horse. You know the vibes. And for the people who can't hear, I'm holding up Kitty, the horse from yeah, right, exactly. Anyway, girl, had to get up off the high horse, and yeah, I said some stupid shit. I basically was like, "What do I need to go to therapy for?" I actually know all of my problems. I'm actually so self-aware. I know every issue that I have. And so then all he could do was like scoff. It was like, I beg your find this pardon. So you mean to tell me, in short, you know you're toxic AF and you're just living in it? Ooh, and you do drugs? Girl, pick a stutter. Not you're gonna have to pick a struggle because not you stuttering and crying. Like, what's the Buki? What? And you? Mm. I said this to his face. We made eye contact. We was in his bed, and I was like, "Yeah, girl. Yeah, safe to say I got blocked on everything. I'm not allowed to speak to him or probably allowed within 600 feet of that man. Do I know that for a fact? No, but probably I would get a restraining order. Cause what the fuck do you mean? I know all my issues, but you're gonna do nothing to change them? Oh, okay, girl. I guess. Yeah, I don't know about all that, Bookie. I don't know about all that. So yeah, I feel like if you're gonna be all self-aware and shit, but not self-aware in the areas that you should be or get the information that you should have, then that's just I don't know. I don't know. Also make sure you're drinking water today because I'm also going to take a little ASMR, a little drinky drink sip break for a second, obviously. But yeah, no. I don't know. I feel like it's not hard to really find yourself in a place to where you can be able to get to the places to where you can acknowledge all the things that you want to acknowledge, necessarily not having an answer for things, but at least like the information you need at hand. So I don't know. um I think a big thing for me is the whole reason I even got into therapy at the first place. I feel like everybody has their reasons, everyone has different that initial push that gets you to go. Mine was realizing I'm not okay, but also taking accountability, not accountability, I guess just it's okay not to be okay. And that right there is half the battle. And realizing it's okay to not be okay sometime is whether you have the answers to get ahead, it is genuinely okay to not have any answers on where you're going to move forward next in life or from that point of, starting at the bottom. And I feel like when coming from a person from personal experience, kind of trigger warning, I did try to, like I said, take that light out. And my light is so bright that me trying to dim that didn't feel right, and it felt like a cop out. It felt like very lazy writing. Like I feel like there could have been definitely other ways that I got taken out of the show, but obviously it's my show. You guys are just living in it, so clearly they couldn't take me out that easy. And we just had a rebrand, and now I'm big, bad, better than ever. So I feel like realizing, it's okay to realize you're at the bottom. Like you got zeros there for a reason. It's where we all start. And so starting at the bottom of the barrel is kind of cool because there's nowhere to go but up from that point. So if you're going to climb girly pop, but you also have to acknowledge being at the bottom. Does that have to be your place forever always? No, because again, and I'm never going to not reiterate it, I'm a product of my circumstance. That's not a real thing. It's a false statement. I promise. No, it is. It is. It's not real. No, really. I'm being serious. It's not real. No, you're laughing, but like it's not. It's just like the people who say like, like the white kids who are like they say the N word, but they're like, yeah, I hung out in Chicago for girl. Anyway, that's not a real thing. These aren't real stuff. Like this, it's not this science. I promise, or whatever. PEMDAS, girl, you know the vibes. Um, but yeah, you don't have to be a product of anything you don't want to be. Also, you can be the change you want to be at any point that you want to be that change. True as fuck. So take control of your own life. You have to realize you gotta know you're not in a space you want to be in the forefront to get you to where you need to be. Nothing's forever, and like bad days don't last forever. That's why it's a bad day. But even the bad days, bad weeks, bad months, that's not forever. Nothing really is. Even the good times aren't forever, but the bad times also aren't that always. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to realize I used to hate it. Oh my god. So like when I came out back in the way backs in the forever times, way back like slavery. Um, I remember coming out was like actually hard. Like it wasn't fun. Like you got kind of beat up. You kind of got bullied. It spread like wildfire. YouTubers used to have to make these really big dramatic like crying coming out videos, and then because enough gay YouTubers, and YouTube was a big thing like back, obviously I'm aging myself, but like back when I was on the internet, and so like because YouTube was such a like big predominant thing, once enough gay people got together, a little like side project that was nonprofit, aside from the Trevor Project, was called the It Gets Better thing. And I remember seeing it, just a group of gay people just kind of giving their really like intense stories of like, yeah, coming out right now, it's gonna suck. Your life is basically gonna be really, really hard. You're gonna be really sad for a long time. They're all gonna beat you up. You're gonna get beat up by all of them. But like, end all be all, it does get better. I know you don't have any front teeth anymore, and they might have knocked out like one of your eyes out, but like, girl, I'm just saying it gets better. And I used to hate this shit because at the time, like, I'm beefing with my mom. I don't like living situations ass. School suck. You know what I'm saying? So like, at me, I'm like, it's real easy to say it gets better from your $1,000 Nikon camera in your LA apartment in a skyrise. Like that's easy for you to say, but like, girl, I can't say that right now. I feel like fucking Kiki Palmer in that Runaway Love, Ludacris and Mary J. Blige song. That So imagine that Kiki Palmer and Mary J. Blige screaming in my ear that little Kiki was just 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? But I'm watching these YouTube videos to my it gets better. It's not. That's like no, no. But as I've gotten older, as I've grown, as I've taken the time to really nurture myself and learn how to protect my brain, but also learn about me, learn how to be happy, be comfortable in my own skin inside and out, not just black but also gay as it is, being queer. And so realizing nothing's forever, girl. Once you realize, like, for real realize nothing's forever, you gonna be chilling like a Xanax. And I'm not playing, like stuff's gonna roll off. I'm telling you, like, you're not even gonna, you were like, oh damn, like it's a little phase or whatever. We're just in a little like rocky points. You know what I'm saying? It's like an apartment complex with multiple speed bumps within like 16 feet of each other. That's all it is, right? Just go slow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all you got to do, Buki. Like it's no big deal. And so like realizing that nothing lasts forever. The hard days don't become so hard, and they don't really even become days. It's just like a little hard patch or whatever, a little hard like season. So like, girl, you're gonna be fine. It's not. It's not. I also have to feel like when it comes to acknowledging where you are in that time frame of like not really putting a time frame on, everything lasting forever. And I have to be very, very specific on this. Giving this really big like energy into whether some day has to be very great, great, or like some day has to be very, very shitty, shitty. That's not a there's a gray area. Do you realize you don't have to really give like some days are just bland. I'll never forget some of the days, some of my friends would ask me, like, hey, how are you today? And I'm just like, I am. Like, I literally am just existing today. I'm nor happy nor sad. Like, I, I'm literally just here. Like, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm just not in like a great good mood either. Like, giddy. I'm literally big and back being bull. Like, I don't know how else to explain that to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like giving this weird high strung energy, and your days either have to be like great or like they were just like scum of the earth, because then when you do have an actual just regular like bottom middle like medium good day, you give it so much power that it doesn't necessarily need that when you do have one minor inconvenience, your entire day is in fucking shambles. That is asinine to me. That doesn't make any sense. Like that boo tomato, like that sounds really lame. So like I just don't feel like that's like fun or like a fun way to really live. And so I do enjoy mundane, regular ass, not giving any attachment or power into really anything. You know what I'm saying? And so like if my day is just a day, then that is just the day that it was. There was nothing non-eventful than a motherfucker. It wasn't boring, but it just wasn't great. And so like being able to not really give so much power into whether a day was great, bad, whether your mood or, you know, I remember my best friend when me and him were kind of growing in these different places, and I was watching him grow at real time. I remember him like telling me like, "Hey, bro, we really got to get out of this habit of saying like, when we ask each other like, how are you?" Should just be like, "Yeah, I'm tired," or like, grumpy day. you ain't even tired. Nothing's even bad. Like it's not even that bad of a day. And you be at work skipping on 4 energy drinks. So how was you tired? You know? And so me and him really changing that perspective really did wonders on one, my medulla, but his too, and just like carrying like the weight of the conversation. And not that we were really two Debbie Downers, but it was just very easy to be like, yeah, I woke up regular day, 9 to 5. I'm tired. It is what it is. I get a lot of sleep. Girl, I might have slept great the night before, but just because it was this very easy, like millennial curse to be sad all the time and just be like, yeah, shit's life, doom, gloom, Daria kind of vibes. Like, don't get me wrong, that's my bitch, and this is no tea, no shade to Daria, because that's really my girl, dead homies. Like back in the day, me and her go way back like slavery. So, girl, whatever. But yeah, it doesn't have to be that deep. And then when it comes to the perception, now that we've kind of like tackled on that part, girl, do you realize the way your perception and the way you perceive anything on this planet is like more than half of the battle. I used to work in a dispensary, and one of the bartenders used to come to me and he used to be like, bro, today was just so long. We just had such a hard day. It was just so impossible. I just didn't know what I was going to do. And I used to be like, why? And he used to be like, you didn't see the line. There was just so many people here. And I'd be like, yeah, I know. So like when you applied for your bare minimum position, because all you do is bud nothing else, you just serve the people weed. You're just at the register. You don't pack orders. You literally don't do anything else, and you're part time. But when you did apply for that part time position, emphasize part time, was there like a number by the amount of people you were going to serve in a day, week, month, any of that? They'd be like, no, of course not. And I'm like, oh, huh. So the days that the line is long, but it's still in the building and it's not even wrapped around nowhere, there's just like 6 people and it's just like you and maybe one other person. Um, doesn't that kind of happen often? And he'll be like, yeah, honestly. So I'm like, oh, so you're not used to it either. Cool. So you applied for a bare minimum position to serve. We serve weed here. People smoke. It's the state of Arizona. It's legal. We're by the airport. Was it confusion? Like we're in a busy location. I don't know. Like that just like if you're able to answer all these simple ass questions that way, then why complain? Now, if you was complaining that people were mean to you or it was smelly or like any of those things, that's a conversation bookie for a different day. Like obviously, let's tackle those things. But being able to change your perception on just like how you look at anything, whether good, bad, don't be delusional. Obviously, if you want to be delulu and drink the Delulu lemonade, by all means, you and the Delulu with a little boo boo could go to the Lululemon and do all that. I'm not doing none of those things. So change your perception and really pay attention to the way you look at things, because when you look at things on a negative forefront, 9 times out of 10 you can look at it on a positive forefront. But that's also however you want to look at it. If you want to wake up and say today's going to be shit, that's going to be the whole day, girl, that's exactly what it's going to be. A shit farm, a whole poopity scoop shit area. I don't live in those. You see the damn sheets, girl. Don't do all that. So yeah, perception's everything. Like when you have a positive perception on most things, the outcome, I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10 are great. Well, just like Tony the Tiger said, okay? So like, come on now, don't do that. Like, I just feel like it's very easy to get caught up in being this really negative, like, I don't know, like just adding these really negative connotations to everything that happens when it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to feel that way. That's not I don't know. It just feels like lazy writing, honestly. It just feels like super lazy writing. So, but when it comes to mental health, there's always this easy excuse of, well, I can't afford therapy. I don't know how to get to a counselor. I don't know where to start. I just know I'm depressed. I just know I'm sad. I don't know what to do from here. Well, for you, I have cheat codes. Little side notes, little cheat codes here. You know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like for me, these things worked, but I've also noticed them to work for other people. Maybe not on like a large margin, but they're cheat codes nonetheless. And so a few of those things I feel like is very important. Find a person you're very close with, you trust dearly, you know them inside and out, they know you better. Mental health status. I feel like it's so important to have somebody you can just kind of, hey, by the way, this is my mood today. Whether you choose to live in that, be in that be the whole day today, if that's how you feel, like I feel like at least one person should always be able to, with them being able to handle that mental load with you always, be that friend, obviously, because if they're a true friend, they will be able to do those things, obviously. And so it's not necessarily a dependability thing. It's just, be that for each other if you can be. Find a friend to do anything with, whether you want to start a business or not. But always, I feel like it's important to be able to find a friend you can just be like, hey, today's one of those hard days. And I've always had friends like that, multiple friends. I kind of didn't necessarily have to say I'm sad, but it was like, all right, you can be sad. I'm not going to acknowledge that. We don't have to talk about your mental health or your mental standing. But if you want to come over and watch a bunch of movies and we can laugh, you can do that also. And so like because of that, it just kind of worked. And so being able to find me a little buddy, a little social media buddy, a little social status buddy to be like, hey, these are the vibes. I'm telling you, it'll do wonders for your medulla. That's cheat code number one. Cheat code number two, little compliments go so far. Compliment yourself, Bookie. Get you. It's not a fake it till you make it. If you can acknowledge one little good thing you like about yourself, even if it's small. Girl, I had to start teeny tiny at the bottom. Thank you, Boo Boo, for brushing your teeth today. Boo Boo, thank you for showering today. Boo Boo, thank you for drinking just a little bit of water. Boo Boo, you've been awake before noon the last 3 days. That's crazy. T, keep going. Little victories are victories nonetheless. Say it with me, repeat it with me. Victories that are small, little victories are victories nonetheless, and they should be acknowledged. Don't live in little victories now. There has to be a good balance if you know great little victories to be acknowledged, and then tackle the big stuff when you can and when it's important to and when you are able to. But don't negate the little things that do happen. You know, people get trapped in this weird like, well, that's the bare minimum. Girl, yeah, well sometimes the bare and the minimum ain't even in the same sentence together. So yes, be proud of yourself. Acknowledge little victories, okay? It could be mean to yourself, girl. I'll knock your goofy ass out, okay? Honestly, low maintenance friends are the best friends to have these days. I'm not gonna lie. Especially on the sad days, the worst days of those low days, you don't have to reach out for help. You know what I'm saying? But the person who's going to be your low maintenance friend 9 times out of 10 is also going to be the first cheat code of it being that person who already knows your mental status. Some people you don't have to ask, and if you feel like you have to ask, then those aren't the people you need to be surrounded by. Find new friends. You're doing it wrong already. But if you do have those people you don't have to necessarily ask for, and they just kind of know, they know the vibe, they're reading the room very correctly. You know, you're giving them mental notes, and they're collecting them and swallowing them, and okay, the mental juices are there, and so I feel like those three little things right there, they work wonders for me. I hope they do wonders for you. I'm not no skilled therapist. These are literally just little tips and tricks that I've learned along my way. I'm still here today, and so I feel like they're important. So yeah, I don't know, girl. I am important, and I want to live in this world. You are important. I know you want to live in this world. Acknowledging that life is so precious these days is something that I feel like doesn't happen enough, and we don't take the time to acknowledge enough. I think it's important for people to do that. Thank you for waking up today. You should applaud yourself for waking up today. Whether you stayed in your bed, eye boogers and all, your little dusty, dirty ass. I still like you, stinky butt. And I love the fuck out of you. And I want you to keep going, just living, living large and taking charge. You heard it here, dead homies. One more other thing, don't rush yourself. Don't feel like you're a burden to somebody. Don't feel like you have to take these extra ass steps to go do these extra ass things, burn yourself out, and then find yourself not being able to do anything at all because you didn't try to do so much for everybody else. Stop doing that. Quit doing that. You can't even stop. You don't even have the means to do that in the first place. I lost a very important person to me on a romantic level because that person loved me through them and didn't even take the time to continue to love themselves. Now he's trying to do that now, and I'm loving that for him so much, and I don't want to interrupt that because I don't ever want to be the reason someone doesn't get to a nice good central grounding. And so I feel like it's always very important to take the time to really get to know yourself and love you because you love you, not because everybody else loves you and you should just love you back because it make you know, don't yep, 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 yep. Love you because you love you. If you got to find the time to do that, do that, but start there. Until you can't do that, don't do nothing else. What that little nappy headed almond say, RuPaul? If you don't love yourself, then how the hell you gonna love somebody else? Girl, T, like, mama, come on, figure it out, and I'll figure it out with you. I'll hold your hand while we do it. Oh wow, what an episode, Mookie. What the hell? This was fun, girl. We've been talking forever. I love this. This was fun. I really did enjoy this. I enjoyed this a lot, actually. Mental health check. Did you know smiling It's the root of all happiness. No, I'm just playing. Did you know smiling, like a genuine smile that you can see in the mirror, will make you feel way different on the inside than just a little bit of happiness. A smile go a long way, girl, especially when it's genuine. Them genuine smiles at you, back to yourself. It's gonna start something fierce. I'm telling you, you'll be unstoppable. Thank you for making it this far with me, girl. Thank you for like really just kicking it with me. Y'all are cool as fuck, and I feel like we're growing a really big, beautiful, powerful thing. And I have so many great, beautiful, big, powerful things coming as they come, girl. Coming around the mountain as they come. Bookie Bear. Oh, shit. Oh my goodness. Well, music of the week. What's been the vibes? I feel like it's been like a mixed bag of different things. I feel like I've been listening to a little bit of dubstep here and there, honestly. Nothing like specific, but just a little bit of dubstep here and there. Like I said, nothing particular. I got a record player this year, finally, girl, and it is so cute. It's the cutest thing. But out of the couple of different vinyl packages that I have, I finally got through all of them. And so that was cool. That was a lot of fun. And so I guess that's kind of like my music of the week, is just getting through all the final parts of each vinyl collection that I finally have. It's a small collection, not super big, but I was able to listen to a lot of the different things, and that was hella fun. Yeah, this week I do plan to go live on TikTok because now we're able to do that. I'm gonna have a lot of fun on there, girls. So y'all better be ready for that because we're gonna be running amok. So do be ready for that, girl. Um, Anything else? Not really, girl. We're already half to that second half of the season. We got 2 episodes left. That's crazy. But yeah, girl, episode damn near 8. Why do you as a man have such a strong opinion about it? Oh, girl, I'm excited. That's what I'm gonna run for the feathers. Them men gonna try to beat me up. Why, girl? You know I love the fuck out of you, per usual, always or forever. You know what I'm saying? You've been real cool as fuck, real cunty, real demure, or whatever they be saying on the internet. But yeah, girl, this is fun. All right, kitty, say bye to them. Say bye to the kids. Kids says bye to you, girls. All right, Bookie, go wash your ass, okay? I'll call you back.
Turn it up, 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 up.